Hi, it's Michael. Welcome back to another SkyPortal how-to. In this video, we'll be talking a little bit about GCN events, what they are, and how to upload them. And so if we start at our home screen here, per usual, we can see here down toward the middle bottom here, this panel called Recent GCN Events. And you'll notice a few things. We include information like a date here, how long ago the event was, and then a number of what we call GCN event tags. And so the idea of these GCN events is we are ingesting multi-messenger events from outside of the app. These typically correspond to events from gravitational wave detectors, such as from the International Gravitational Wave Network, IGWN, from Fermi or SWIFT or GRB satellites, from neutrino detectors such as IceCube, and we receive these through what's known as GCN. And so I will include the link to GCN, or this General Coordinates Network, which is a service run by NASA, in the link below. But in general, through GCN, you can receive events of all kinds, and we'll talk a little bit more about how to ingest them in a little bit. And so if we go back to the app here, and we look on the left-hand side here, we can click on this GCN Events page. And so here we include a bit more information. So as I mentioned, the time of event, we have these tags, we have these localizations or sky maps, as well as information about the notices themselves. And sort of talking through these, we ingest tags, which correspond to particular sort of information or keywords about events. So you'll notice in this particular neutrino event, we have the detector, which is IceCube, the fact that it's a neutrino, that it was a bronze event. So these IceCube events have either bronze or gold events, depending on their significance. Amon, which indicates that it's, again, this sort of part of this broader neutrino network. Similarly, in the case of gravitational waves, we have information like the 3 detectors, Hanford, Virgo, and Livingston, the fact that it was a neutron star black hole, that it came from an all-sky pipeline, and so on. And so these tags give you information, kind of generic keywords about the particular object. We also list the localizations, and so it can be very common for these events. For example, with a Fermi gamma ray burst, as the analysis is refined, as more information is included, for updates to the localization or the sky map are presented. And so it's on, so for example, if we click on into the GCN event page, which we've seen before, and we actually look at one of these localizations, this is what I mean. It's basically one of these sky maps that corresponds to, it gives you information about the probability region, i.e. the event must have occurred within, in this case, within these 2 nodes. So if we go back to the GCN event page, and we can look at this add a GCN event. So there's a few ways that you can get GCN events into the app. So one is through this page or the corresponding API, which we'll talk about in a future analysis. And so there's a variety of ways that you can present this information. So for example, all GCN events require some kind of observation date. And I'll just include an example here. So this corresponds to the time of 2019-08-14 for this particular gravitational wave event. But just for fun, we'll pretend that it's at a particular right ascension and declination and assign some error to it. And otherwise, we can show the show the events that way. We can also add tags, and so the tags that you can list are restricted to the existing tags that are in the app. The app assumes that you've ingested enough of these events that you've kind of seen the things that you are. So we know this is a gravitational wave event, and we know it's been detected by some gravitational wave detectors, and so you can include it that way. And if we click submit, then we can see that now we have this new GCN, or this new sky map, which is available from within our localization, and it's displayed here on the corresponding page. But in addition to ingesting information through a form like this, it is probably more common to ingest automatically through GCN itself. And so if we look at the documentation here, you will see we provide information. So we use this new GCN Kafka service that NASA set up this year to ingest events within SkyPortal. It does require some setup. So on the website that I showed previously, if you make a user account, you can get what's known as a client ID and a client secret, but basically some username and password type of thing, which you can input to the app to enable ingestion of these events. And we will talk in a future video about the SkyPortal configuration files, which is not a thing that the users typically see. This is a thing that the site admin typically sets up, but you can specify within this file this ID and secret, for the that you make through the website, as well as a variety of these notice types. And so in this particular case, we're ingesting events from Fermi, from the gravitational wave network, from AMON, and then from IceCube in this particular example. And so you're able to specify for yourself which events that you actually care about. Could be the case that you only do neutrinos, and so you would just choose this subset. But the idea then is that as GCN releases these events, then they'll be automatically ingested, and you will get more and more events through here. We also provide the ability to do some amount of filtering. And so we have this filtering table here. For example, you can choose to keep only, for example, IceCube events or something like that. And then you just have the IceCube events that you have in this list. So that concludes our discussion of the GCN event page. As always, please leave comments, thoughts, questions. And otherwise, we look forward to seeing you in a future video.